Hey guys, back again, part 2 of going back to the backstory. But before I start, I just wanted to touch on a clip from Wheezy's live stream on Saturday. He had to make a backup channel due to a pathetic illegal copyright strike from Attwood on Wheezy's original channel. I'll put the links in the description, but here I'll play this clip for you just now.
Hear me?
Yeah.
When Uncle Terrence was there, and started mentioning the whole deal about
Hello, brother. Who are you?
who are you?
Because all the excuses you are giving about not giving your name
Who the fuck
is
are
rubbish.
you? Wait a
Don't
minute. Who
swear
the
at me.
fuck
Don't
are you?
swear at me.
Who the
Don't
fuck
swear.
are you, motherfucker?
Everybody
Who the
put
fuck
the
are
phone
you?
down because this brother
Name
here
yourself
is
or I'm gonna
working
hang
for
up on your bitch ass right now.
counterintelligence.
Name yourself
you are
right now,
working
bitch.
For
Name yourself right now,
brother.
bitch.
You
Name
are
yourself right now,
stupid.
bitch.
You
Name
and the
your
other
fucking
one
self.
that will not.
1, 2.
Everybody listen to this
Pussy-ass
pseudo.
Get the fuck out of here.
So this was about an hour into the live stream where Wheezy was rudely interrupted. It's unclear whether they were annoyed at getting an hour in and not getting any information from Wheezy, or it was the reference to Uncle Terrence that maybe triggered them. We'll never know about that one. So if you listen to the full stream, like I say, it's about an hour in, so for the first hour, Wheezy's trying to be on a level with Mr. Esposito. Again, I'll put the links in the description and you can make your own mind up on how much of a pathetic attempt it was. Alright, and so going on to the backstory. I first got onto this backstory when I was contacted by a guy. I'd first started chatting to him in comments when I'd read that he'd said he was banged up with Shaun. So got in touch. He sent me an email saying that he explains how he was banged up with Shaun for a year. He was in the same pod as Shaun for a year. But his main issue, from what I saw, was about Shaun's references to all the rapes and stuff, and all the presenting the image that all the white guys were gays and stuff in there. So the first email was from him to me. Like I say, we'd been chatting before in the comments, and not long after by email. So he was saying how he seemed a bit pissed off that Shaun he's running about YouTube, claiming money off these stories that are literally with holes. So he was happy to sort of point me in the direction of a couple of things. My reply to him was about T-Bone and the claim that this guy was protecting Shaun and stopping prison rapes and stuff, to which he replied, "That's absolute bullshit. There's not a chance another race can get involved in the whites' business in jail." He said that AB would kill him. So it seems that Shaun has greatly exaggerated that part of the story as well. So take from that what you will, guys. It seems pretty straightforward. I mean, the guy had no reason. He's not gaining anything by speaking out, so he seems entirely credible. So I wanted to move on to the claim that Shaun has made on his bond, his bail money when he first went to jail. He claimed that it was 750,000 cash only, which, according to the court records here, it was 750,000. If you look at the date, it was in May 16, 2002. That was his initial arrest warrant. That was the length, the bond. However, if on the 16th 17th of May, sorry, the next day, it looks like it was reduced down to 250,000. It's certainly not the 1.5 million that Shaun has claimed on several of his interviews. It was never doubled. So whatever he says resulted from that. I think it was a Supermax claim. I'm not sure. Oh no, that was on the 34 years thing, which he later changed to 26 years. Covered that in the last video. But yeah, it looks like his bond was reduced to 250,000. Looking also at his claim that there was 100 people arrested. When the SWAT team came, looking at it, it actually seems like there was 15 actually arrested, although some interviews, an interview at the time claimed 12, which may be correct, and maybe a free couple of days later or later on, whatever, because there was certainly another court case running alongside Shaun's court case, so that could be plausible. But it seems there was 15 in total, nowhere near the 100 that Shaun was claiming. Again, he just seems to have greatly exaggerated his story to maybe make it more appealing. Maybe all that time in jail thinking, reading all these books, which I think I covered as well on the last channel actually, was it went 1,000 books already. It was, he told another interview 268 books that was when he first got out. So his story seems well rehearsed. I think you maybe agree with that, with people who've listened to his story. I mean, I've listened to it numerous times, just as part of looking into these lies that he tells. And it seems that his story is greatly rehearsed. However, there's some minor details which could easily be forgotten, which he then has to try and cover in his haste to tell the story at the time, to make it seem more plausible. So that's another one exposed as being a lie. Another one, again, was also in an interview he said that when the SWAT team had come, that he was off the drugs, trying to live a quiet life, that he was back trading stocks on his laptop. It was actually on his laptop on the stock market when the door went in that morning, which is quite funny as well, because in another interview he claimed that the police burst in and pointed guns at him and his fiancée while they were in bed. So it's little details like this that just keep throwing up these red flags, and these shows that his story is full of holes. So the claim that he was off drugs, it certainly didn't look like he was off drugs on his mugshot. And also, if you look at this screenshot from the court case history, there's a couple of offences there. The dates in the middle are actually the dates that the crime was alleged to have taken place. So these are March the 8th, 2002, which was 2 months before the SWAT team came. Not 2 years like he was claiming, although a lot of his charges were from 2 years ago. There was a lot of recent charges, certainly with Shaun, Wildman, and many of the co-defendants. And it's not just charges that's been dismissed or whatever, dropped. He's pled guilty to one of them. There's one here actually, using electronic communication in a drugs transaction. So that could either be ringing up a dealer to buy it, answering the phone to somebody who wanted to buy from him. It could mean anything, but either way, it's very recent charges. It didn't look like he was off the drugs. He looked actually like he was starting to withdraw, sweaty hair and all that sort of stuff. So again, that's another red flag. Something else that I wanted to look at was let's find it, it's here. So he said he was going on a visit to see his parents on Christmas when his cellmate had arranged for somebody to beat him up on the way to the visiting room. So if you look back, if anybody can remember the story, he was actually telling the story as he was walking down the hall, going to the visiting room when he was suddenly attacked, punched in the back and the kidneys and stuff. And then at that point he stops and says to the audience who's listening, you've either in jail, in there, you've got to fight back. If you don't fight back and you let somebody hit you, then you become a punk and a bitch. He says, but if you do fight back and the guards catch you, then it's loss of privileges or whatever the punishments it may be. But Shaun said he did fight back, although it was like hitting a big punch bag. His punches weren't going anywhere. So in this screenshot here, it says that he did get a new, less violent cellmate as a result of the incident. I'm struggling to figure out how that would work, because if the cellmate had arranged for somebody else to beat him up, so if Attwood had fought back, obviously he's going to come out with second prize, like you said. He went to the visiting room injured, which means that the guards never saw the fight. So he went to his visit, he was injured, he got on with it. So how did he get a new, less violent cellmate as a result of the incident? If that part is true, he must have snitched to say, my cellmate's got somebody to attack me. So that was another one. But then I found this as well, in the court minutes. It's an application for a gag order in Shaun's trial, or his court case. He never actually went to trial because he took a plea bargain, but it was in his court case. So he applied to the court for a gag order, which the court granted. This was around about September 2002, so he must have been in jail 4 months, not even 4 months, when he was applying for a gag order. Now, I'm not here to try and insinuate what that gag order may have entailed. However, coupled along with the possibility that he snitched in the hall to get his new cellmate, the fact that he was looked at 200 years, he was withdrawn from crystal meth, allegedly, it's entirely plausible that this gag order was something to cover something in the plea bargain. Maybe. He did say out of, although we know it's not 100, but him and his codies that were arrested, 4 turned. I've said previously that I think Shaun was one of them, and I think this was what made me think that. So it just leaves some question marks over Shaun in his infamous lawsuited video, where he says that anybody who claims snitch or pedo without paperwork is going to end up fucked and lawsuited. Well, Shaun, does this qualify as paperwork? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Covered quite a bit in this video. There's loads more to go. I mean, trawling through these minutes, cross-referencing stuff. It's amazing what pops up. It's little minor details that show that might not be anything on the grand scheme of things on their own as it stands. However, it certainly builds a picture of Shaun's character. If he's willing to lie barefaced to people of little things like that, and it is to make up a story that he's then earning money from, and we all know that it might well be using for other benefits, then it seems that all these little minor details certainly build a picture that show the true Shaun Attwood.